There is a place where the forest never sleeps, where the wind carries whispers that do not belong to the living. The villagers of Dewsburn call it Tamlin Forest. They say it remembers every trespass, and that its roots grow deeper with every soul that fails to return. Beyond the mist, past the crooked trees, lies the work of the Crow's Nest, a guild of wanderers, hunters, and fools who take the jobs no one else dares. This is their tale, not one of heroes, but of debts owed, and of the forest that never forgets. I am Noah, otherwise known as the Book Wyrm, and this is my Fought Against Darkness little campaign known as the Crows Nest Chronicles. And this video is all about the prologue, so enjoy. So the Crow's Nest, they have their own saying, quoth the crow, loot more, because it's all about looting. I'm going to go through the start of the journal, obviously with the prologue, about the village, the little bit of the lore of the world, and then we'll go into all the other things. So I haven't filled these in yet, for a reason, so we're just going to move past that. We have our members list and a graveyard. The graveyard's not decorated or anything yet, or no names in there, but I'm going to tell you now, it will quickly fill up. Then we come into the actual place. So Dewsburn Village is a misty frontier, a village on the edge of civilization, you could say, in a way. Dewsburn grew up around an old mill and the remnants of a burned watchtower. It's a small but stubborn village with stone and wood homes, market square, and a shrine to the White Stag, which is something that they worship. In this village, war has driven refugees and deserters here. There is a war that's going on in this world that's been going on for around 30 years. Obviously, we've got the atmosphere, the kind of local beliefs the forest remembers. People leave offerings of food and /or carved tokens on the trees and the crumbling stag shrine to appease the Tamlin Forest spirits. This is where the first session will kind of be revolving around as we kind of build up from there. And I've got the economy, obviously hunters, herbalists, smugglers, and adventurers. The Crow's Nest is one of 2 organised groups left. So we've got Tamlin Forest. Obviously, it kind of goes into the forest, about the legend in it, how it was originally called the Green Vale, home to the White Stag, until a lord's son named Tamlin came and decided to hunt around in this forest, not for food or furs, for actual things that people would find necessary to need, but more just for fun and sport, because he was a cruel and cold person, which then made the curse of the stag become a thing. From his cruel nature, it cursed not only himself, but the men that he brought with him on the hunting party, but also the forest itself. It also goes into how, because it's been many, many, many years ago that this happened, his name was originally forgotten by man until the villagers of Dewsburn began hearing it again. And they started hearing it again around 30 years ago when this war first started. War is between these 2 kingdoms. We have the kingdom of Viran, which is ruled by this queen, Alandia. And it was originally a big shining city. Now it's a fortress of sieges and everything like that. Their main goal is that they want to control the frontier to secure access to Tamlin Forest for resources and also rumoured ancient relics. Because the war's been going on for so long, 30 years, resources are basically slowly just like dwindling away, and they're trying to find places where they can get new resources. So we have the Holy Dominion of Ashtar. Their whole thing is they want to cleanse heresy, wild magic from everywhere, and the tainted Tamlin Forest. They are at war with these guys at the moment because they decided not to worship their god anymore. There's a whole thing going on with this, but they basically do inquisitors, purgers, and relic hunters. And there's a whole thing about that, but that's not important right now. We can go into that in more detail, maybe another day. And here we have the prologue, The Whispered Wood. The location is the Crooked Mare, which is Dewsburn's only tavern. The time is twilight, so when the last light bleeds through the trees of Tamlin Forest. The road into Dewsburn winds. Smoke curls from chimney holes. Every window glows with amber light. But the shadows between the houses are deep and watchful. As Gus, a warrior, pushes open the warped door of the Crooked Mare, the smell of pine pitch, ale, and damp wool greets him. The place is packed, but no one speaks. Every face, from scarred hunters to suit-fingered miners, are turned towards the open shutters that face Tamlin Forest. The last fingers of sunlight spill over the tree line, gilding the mist that clings to the roots. Then, as one, everyone exhales. Someone mutters, "It's gone quiet tonight." Another lifts her mug, whispering, "May he rest." Only then does the tavern's low murmur return. Gus, travel-worn and curious, steps up to the counter. The barkeep, a one-eyed woman named Marla, pours a mug of bitter ale without being asked. She nods towards the window. "First night here, traveller." "Aye. Why did everyone stop talking?" "Listening. We always do when the sun leaves the trees. Sometimes the forest talks, sometimes it doesn't." A hush spreads again. The room's talk falters as a figure stands from the corner table. A female bard with hair like bone and a soft haunting voice, known locally as Kestrel of the Hollow. She motions to the other bards as they ready their instruments and says quietly, "He's new to Dewsburn and the Vale. He should hear the warning proper." A slow melody begins, carried on the creak of floorboards and the sigh of the wind through the shutters. Patrons sway unconsciously, and the fire in the hearth seems to dim.
Hush now, child, the night has come. The forest dark, the songbirds numb. Once the green veil was safe and bright. Now Tamlin's forest sealed in night. Hear the tale of Tamlin bold, a huntsman's heart, both cruel and cold. He slew the stag with reckless glee, and cursed the ancient heartwood tree. Roots grew tight around his hand, bound his soul to haunted land. His scream became the midnight wind, where shadows twist and nightmares begin. Stay close, my dear, don't wander far. Don't chase the moon or wish on stars. For in these woods, if you should stray, Tamlin's roots might find their way. The trees remember every sin, and rivers run with what has been. So heed this warning as you sleep. Tamlin's forest hunts the weak. Hush now, child, shut your eyes. Let not the huntsman hear your cries. For if you wake where shadows dwell, you'll join Tamlin in his spell.
When the song ends, silence clings to the rafters. A few of the people do signs with their hands. Two others drain their mugs in one swallow. Marla wipes the glass with the same cloth she's been using for years and mutters, "The forest keeps what it's owed. Best you remember that, traveller. Not all monsters live in caves." Kestrel the Bard looks at Gus. "You'll go there, won't you? They always do, the ones with the restless eyes." A faint wind pushes through the open shutters, cold, smelling of moss, iron, and a faint tinge of rotting sap. Somewhere far off, deep in the Tamlin Forest, something cracks like a branch underfoot. No one moves. Then, one by one, the villagers begin to speak again, but quieter now, careful not to disturb whatever still listens beyond the trees. Strange song for a drinking place. You always sing of dead men?" "Only the ones who forget they were mortal. I'm Kestrel." Gus holds out his hand and shakes hers. "Gus, passing through looking for work. Heard there's a guild here that takes all kinds." Kestrel chuckles and leans forward slightly. "There is. They take anyone who doesn't scare easily." She gets a drink from the barkeep as Gus finally takes a sip of his. "If you're serious about work, go see the Crow Mother. Old mill, edge of the village. She runs what's left of the Crow's Nest." "Crow's Nest, huh? What kind of jobs?" "The kind folks don't sing about. The kind that sends you to places where songs begin." She slides a small pouch across the counter, something clinking inside. "That'll get you through the door. Tell her Kess sent you." "What's the catch?" "No catch. Just listen when the trees go quiet. If you can't hear them whispering..." She shrugs and walks away. Gus picks up the pouch and gets a room at the tavern. Next day, location, the old mill. Time, morning, 10 a.m. Gus walks alone as mist curls through the village like smoke from an unseen fire. The forest looms behind the village, dark and patient. Pouch the bard gave him feels heavier than it should, not in weight, but in consequence. Every crow he passes watches him. None fly away. The old mill sits at the end of the road, a skeleton of timber and stone, half swallowed by moss. A banner hangs on the side of a crow in a nest. Gus pushes the door open. It doesn't creak, it breathes. Inside it smells of smoke, ink, and iron. Maps cover the walls, drawings of the forest paths, ruins. Candles burn low in bottles, their wax forming stalactites that drip onto piles of paper. At the far table sits a woman, old, silver hair, wearing hunter's leathers with faded colours. One milky white eye, the other obsidian. A crow rests on her shoulder, its head cocked, as if it's listening for something behind Gus, not in front of him. "You're late," she sniffs, bored. Kestrel's recruits normally come at first light. The forest doesn't wait for courage. Gus hesitates before walking in more slightly confused. "Crow Mother? Kess said you had work." She chuckles dryly. "Everyone in Dewsburn has work. Mine just gets more killed." She stares at Gus, studying him. "Sit." Gus studies her back and the crow, while grabbing a chair at the table and sits down in front of the Crow Mother. On the table, in front of the Crow Mother, lies a single object wrapped in cloth. She unrolls it carefully, like someone handling a venomous snake. Inside, a fragment of carved bone. Its surface is etched with symbols that seem to shift when the light moves. 3 went into the forest. 1 came back, and he brought this with him. He said it whispered their names as he ran. "Whose names?" She rolls her eyes, the crow rolling its head like it's mimicking her. "The dead ones." "You've got a soldier's posture." "Viran or Ashta?" "Originally Viran." She nods, understanding the hint. A deserter. She carefully slides the bone to Gus to look at. He stares at it, realizing it is human bone somehow engraved with moving symbols. He pushes it back to her carefully. "This is your first task. Bring back what the forest took. Find your path by the silver mushrooms. They glow when the moon is high. Follow them. And don't stop when you hear your own name. That's just the forest getting familiar. The crow on her shoulder flutters his feathers, and the crow mother says softly, "Welcome to the crow's nest, Gus." When Gus leaves the mill, the crow followed. Then 3, then 7, then a whole murder rising over Dewsburn like smoke. This will be what the next video will be starting, which is session 1. I don't know if you want me to do it like a story as in the prologue, because I thought the prologue needed a story, just kind of like why and how Gus kind of got there, and a bit of the lore, obviously, with the song. But we have our little thing ready for, obviously, to do the map. And, but yeah, we've got some pictures that we actually did as well. So we've got Gus, we got obviously the mushrooms going in. We have Crow Mother, otherwise known as Elaine. Obviously, we've got the banner, the old mill, which is covered in moss. We have Kestrel down here, arms crossed singing, with obviously other patrons kind of staring at her. Obviously, we've got Gus. Gus is my main dude, who we're going to be starting off with at first before we bring in more to the party. And then we've got the Crooked Mare. This is a picture of Tamlin. Then we've got the White Stag. And obviously, as he goes to shoot it. Let me know what you think, if you're interested. Some of the stuff I've kind of made my own little resources for. If anyone would like anything like that, let me know. And I will happily turn them into a PDF and send them to people. But yeah, that was it. Just remember, I am Noah, the Book Wyrm, and this is the Crows Nest Chronicles. If you've heard the forest's call, stay a while. Subscribe, join the guild, and follow where the crows lead. But just be wary, and remember, Tamlin's Forest is awake.
Roll the dice, what's the price? Oh shit, it's a 1 again. Reviewing solo RPGs, I'm the king of epic fails, my friend.